Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're so excited to have so many faculty here in the room as well as remote via Zoom. We have full-time faculty from the Midwest, from England, so really all over the country. Can our England faculty members stand up for a second? Woo, Jen! I think she gets the award for traveling the furthest, but if anyone else traveled further than Jen, feel free to stand up. We're thrilled to have you here for commencement this weekend. For those of you I have not had the pleasure of meeting yet, I'm Morgan Johnson and I lead our Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning here at Ashford. On behalf of our academic community, we are so excited to be here with you today celebrating all of our faculty. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up our president, Dr. Swenson.
Don't you think it's cool how you can keep an old picture that makes you look younger? That's my secret. People really think I'm that age. And when I turned 40 last year, it was like a big shock. I'm always thrilled and humbled to be in the presence of teachers. I have memories of teachers throughout my life, 3 or 4, who made a difference. And there was one particularly who was a life-changing person. Paul Miller was his name. He was my 5th grade teacher. And I grew up in a little bedroom community of Salt Lake called Bountiful, Utah, which was, if you remember the movie Sandlot, part of it was filmed there, and it was that kind of a place. But I was the youngest in the class, the smallest, the object of bullying, and Mr. Miller was this first year 6'5" massive man, taught that was his first year teaching, and he taught elementary school. And he recognized something in me, and I don't know how, but I think he saw the runt of the litter and singled me out. And we would go out at recess, and he would go out and grab the football and start playing with me, and then the other boys would join in. And it was consistent like that through the whole year. He supported me, he protected me, and most of all, he taught me. I decided, we went on a field trip to the state legislature that year. I decided I was going to be a senator, or a baseball player. I've always wanted to reconnect with him, so I looked up his number and somehow did some searching, talked with his wife, and she said, oh, he would love to talk with you. And he's older and quite ill. He became a school principal for 30 years, and he was retired now and in ill health, quite ill health. And I told him how much he had meant to me. And it made me cry because he started to cry. And he said, this means so much to me that all these years later, I could have had influence like that on someone. And so we never know what impact we're going to have. And that's what makes teaching not only it's one of those happy places where your vocation and your avocation come together, and you find your life's work. And so I salute all of you. Laura and I have a former friend, colleague, who did an ACE fellowship with us, Celestino Fernandez, who is, I think, retired now, professor at the University of Arizona. Celestino was the son of migrant parents, and they settled in north of the Bay Area. They were agricultural workers, and they would move around, but finally they settled. They were working on a big operation, had immigrated. And Celestino when he started school, he started in junior high. He started as a 7th grader. He did not speak English, a word of English. And he tells of the same kind of teacher, a teacher who took him and taught him English. And he's a sociologist and a poet and a wonderful person. And I've just finished a book called What Do You Think, Mr. Ramirez? It's about the liberal education in the United States, sort of a history. But the author, who is now a literary critic, was in the same situation. A young man who had come from Cuba, didn't speak any English, ended up in a community college class, was learning, and he was in a class where they were studying Shakespeare. And he said, I didn't know Shakespeare from anybody, but I could now read English enough to try and make my way through. It was a large class, and the professor turned to him and said, well, what do you think, Mr. Ramirez? And in some cases, that would make the person melt and never go back to the classroom in his situation, but in his case, it lit a fire. And he went on to become a professor, noted professor, award-winning, wonderful teacher. And all of these experiences bring me back to teaching, which is one of the most important callings in society, one that we undervalue greatly. But we value it. I wanted to read you just a couple of quotations that I think. I'm a strong believer in liberal education, but I also think that liberal education can and should be part of the professions. It doesn't matter what we're teaching. If you're teaching someone to think critically and to solve problems and to communicate well, you're teaching liberal education, because those are the skills that they will need, whether they're in a business course or a healthcare administration course or an education course. It's liberal education, and that's what we should be teaching. One of my intellectual heroes is named Sterling McMurrin. Dr. McMurrin was a professor of philosophy at the University of Utah. I took Philosophy 101 from him, and he had been, during the first 2 years of the Kennedy administration, he was the U.S. Commissioner of Education, which is the counterpart to what is now the Department of Education, the Secretary of Education. It wasn't at that time a cabinet level position, but he was, Dr. McMurrin was a rabble rouser. In fact, I remember going back to campus for a conference or an award thing and saw him on campus, and he was older and retired. I said, Professor McMurrin, I know you don't remember me. I said, oh, I remember you. Well, he may not have, but he said, I said, so how are things going? He said, excuse the French, whoever said these were the golden years was full of shit. So. and I thought that this is one of the truly great people, and I wanted to read you something that he said. And I hope we will do this in all of our courses, whether it's a finance course or a education methods course or whatever. He says, liberal education is the type of education that liberates the mind, hence liberal, that overcomes ignorance, superstition, and prejudice. I'm prepared to say that one might find liberal studies anywhere in the university. Certain business courses in labor and management might qualify, and national and international problems, finance should qualify as liberal subjects. I think it's a very bad approach to approach liberal education to describe it in terms of university departments and disciplines. The key question is, to the extent to which these things are essential to high quality education and the social order. A liberal arts education qualifies you for almost anything, but prepares you for almost everything. That last was Frank Sesno. And then one more by Parker Palmer, whom some of you have read Parker Palmer before on teaching. He says, good teaching cannot be reduced to technique. Good teaching comes from the identity and integrity of the teacher. And I believe that from my heart. And so it's why I'm so grateful to be here today among people who make a difference. And I know something about our faculty. Justin and others of the deans will send messages that they receive from students who had troubles and made it through, and they made it through often because a faculty member went the extra mile and reached out to them and gave them a little encouragement, gave them a little extra time, gave them an opportunity, and had that kind of moment where you say, well, what do you think, Mr. Ramirez? And that's a goal for all of us to seek and a vision to aspire to. And so I want you all to know how much I appreciate the work that you do. Late at night, all week long, 7 days a week generally, and it goes too unrecognized. So thank you and congratulations to all of you who are being honored today. It's wonderful to have you here. I would be remiss if I didn't introduce Dr. and fulfill my obligation, Dr. Tony Farrell, Dean of the College of Education.
Thanks, Craig. You like your picture. I'm not a big fan of mine. So first, I just, what I want to say is that I'm trying to think about remarks to introduce our wonderful faculty. But the first thing I want to say is I love my job. I love my job. I love working with these wonderful educators, not just within the College of Education, but throughout Ashford. But I will say my favorite group of educators is my College of Ed faculty here. And you guys are great. So I'm going to try to move this along because normally, as my faculty know, I spend a lot of time talking. So our first award winner, and this is not a surprise because we wanted to fly them all in. So I told them all to act surprised once they hear their names announced, is Dr. Tony Goss. So Dr. Goss gets the award, our Associate Faculty Award for teaching. He teaches in our Master's of Arts in Education program. He has a heart for students. I was looking at his student outcomes, are very impressive today, so congratulations. And he was a strong choice by our selection committee, so congratulations. Here's a shirt you can wear tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. I would say drum roll, but we can skip that. Our next winner for full-time teaching, Kathleen Kelly. One of my favorite faculty members. Kathleen has, and we call her KK, she has done it all in this institution. And she is she's one of those, quiet leaders that is really,
quiet.
Well.
Wait.
Relatively. But she is a leader. And so she is involved in so many projects. And her, she could have gotten this award for many different areas. And just really proud to give this to you, and congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Our next winner, Dr. Alan Belcher. Again, Dr. Belcher could have gotten this award for many different categories. He's also a leader within the College of Education. He is our go-to guy. He supports faculty, whether it's in teaching, faculty support, but he is certainly one of our strongest scholars and has won or been a part of numerous UFP grants and is happy to share his research. best practices, and we are honored to have you as part of our college. And our next winner, and I say this, Dr. Stephanie Lassiter. Stephanie just completed her degree, so very proud of you. And then Steph is a strong teacher, strong educator. She is one of our co-founders, presenters, leaders of our ECE conference that has grown exponentially over the years. And she truly is, when we think of service to the institution, you're one of the people I think of. So thank you. All right. And I will pass it off to Lori Windspeed.
Good morning, everyone. I have to say it's really nice to look out and see this room full of faculty and have all of you in the same place. And for everybody that traveled from afar, welcome to San Diego. I'm happy that we have some of our faculty from the College of Health with us, and I'm lucky enough to be able to present 6 faculty members who are going above and beyond in the areas of teaching, service, and scholarship. So I'm going to embarrass them since they did fly so far out. So for our first award winner, Dr. Holly Johnson, our Associate Faculty for Teaching. Dr. Holly Johnson joined Ashford University in 2012. She teaches in our Bachelor's of Psychology program and has consistently performed in the classroom with above average retention and success rates. Faculty activity reports also indicate that her engagement in her courses is above average, and she has been able to maintain that engagement throughout her time at Ashford. Dr. Johnson exhibits a positive and enthusiastic tone in the classroom, and she applies creative strategies to establish relationships and promote engagement with her students. In the discussion forum, she goes above and beyond, adding additional resources and modeling academic voice and scholarly formatting of sources. She challenges her students to be critical thinkers, and she is passionate about teaching and supporting the students' learning process. I'm honored to award the Associate Faculty Teaching Award as recommended by the Committee of Peers in the College of Health. Next up, our Full-Time Faculty Award. I'd like to invite Dr. Yolanda Harper up here. For some people, teaching is only a job, but not for Dr. Yolanda Harper. Teaching is a passion and a commitment to lifelong learning. Dr. Harper's teaching skills and classroom performance speak to her dedication to teaching excellence and her commitment to improving student learning. In the classroom, Yolanda is highly engaged, accessible, resourceful, passionate, and compassionate, and she consistently exceeds faculty expectations. Yolanda challenges her students to be their best and helps each one to identify their strengths. Dr. Harper is also highly skilled in course development and uses creative teaching techniques to fully engage her students. In fact, if you drop into one of her courses, you'll be instantly engaged, and I know you'll want to explore them more. Personally, when I started reviewing the feedback from her students, I was ready to register for one of her courses. In the words of Dr. Harper's students, Dr. Harper is a great teacher that challenges students to do their best. Dr. Harper gives you the drive to want to learn as much as you can. Dr. Harper makes it fun and engaging, and Dr. Harper is a phenomenal instructor. Congratulations. Okay, our next awardee was not able to travel to San Diego, but I do believe she's on Zoom. Are we able to see her? No? Okay. So in the area of scholarship, I'd like to recognize Dr. Claire DeCristofaro. Okay, thank you. Dr. Claire DeCristofaro is an exceptional achiever in the area of scholarship, and her dedication to the academic community is beyond reproach. Claire truly stands out in the area of scholarship and has such an impressive record of scholarly achievements that I personally believe she has superpowers and doesn't sleep. In support of her nomination for this award, a short selection of scholarly activities was submitted, which included 6 recent journal publications, 2 book chapters, 21 peer-reviewed presentations, 6 peer-evaluated academic activities, 18 subject matter expert activities, 27 federal SAMHSA grant reviewer assignments, 3 invited lectures, and 5 intercollegial research projects. If I'm honest, just reading that list makes me a little tired, and I want to remind you that that was a short list. As a physician, Claire also serves on several clinical advisory panels and is an active member of the American Academy of Family Practice and the Tennessee Academy of Family Physicians. I'm always in awe of Dr. Claire DeCristofaro's ability to be such an active scholar, while she is also being an amazing faculty member and a valued contributor in the college. Congratulations out there in Zoom world, Claire. Our next awardee in the area of service, I would like to invite Dr. Keisha Edwards to join me. Dr. Keisha Edwards joined the college in early 2018 and truly hit the ground running. Serving as the program chair for the bachelor's and master's programs in healthcare administration, she has led program rationalization in the undergraduate program and is putting the finishing touches on 2 synchronous capstone courses at the master's level in order to achieve CAMI accreditation and establish our program as a leader in online healthcare administration education. Dr. Edwards also volunteered for a college pilot of student learning communities and has created a space for faculty, students, and healthcare leaders to connect and collaborate. In addition to her leadership of the HCA programs, Dr. Edwards serves on the Faculty Senate Communication Committee, and she volunteered to serve on the planning committee for a program retreat we held in October 2018. She brings fresh ideas and a new perspective to college initiatives and areas of opportunity. I am grateful for the passion and commitment Dr. Edwards brings to her role as program chair, and I look forward to the opportunity to support her and her faculty at the AUPHA conference in June, where they will be presenting on the fully online initiative to meet CAMI requirements. Congratulations. And that conference is in New Orleans, so we're going to have fun too. Okay, our next 2.
Not too much.
Our next 2 awardees also were not able to join us in San Diego, but I know they're out there on Zoom. So next in the area, oops, no pictures. Next in the area of service, we have Dr. Michelle Majors, who exhibits an extraordinary commitment to her students and faculty as the program chair for the BAPSI program. She also eagerly serves the broader university beyond the scope of her required duties. She is exceptionally responsive to faculty needs, and in order to advance teaching excellence in her program, she launched a BAPSI Program Instructor Resource Center. This Canvas-based platform supports full-time and associate faculty by providing invaluable program and course content, up-to-date university information, user-friendly resources, and offers the faculty a space to collaborate with each other in a supportive community. I can personally attest that the community Dr. Majors created also has a lot of fun because she hosts virtual ugly sweater contests and virtual Halloween costume contests that I have been lucky enough to attend. Overall, Dr. Majors' outstanding leadership and dedication to the betterment of the BAPSI program and her faculty has led to tremendous positive outcomes in student performance and retention. In addition, Dr. Majors has served on the Faculty Senate and has led a team of faculty in collaboration with the CETL staff to develop the self-paced Instructor Presence Certificate program that was recently offered university-wide to empower faculty with tools to inspire learners, encourage engagement, and increase success and fulfillment for both students and faculty. In closing, I truly believe the service Dr. Michelle Majors has committed to her program, faculty, students, and the university should serve as a role model for others. Congratulations, Dr. Majors. And last but not least, I have Dr. Yvonne Lozano. In addition to serving as the program chair for the BA in Gerontology and the BA in Applied Behavioral Science, Dr. Yvonne Lozano is a college representative on the Faculty Senate Welfare Committee. Dr. Lozano is often acknowledged by me and others as one who shares her professionalism, humor, and reason to effectively address what can sometimes be challenging scenarios. On a side note, I was extremely impressed when I discovered that Yvonne has also been a stand-up comedian in her spare time, but it does make a lot of sense in terms of her ability to be open-minded, unbiased, and focused in her role on the Faculty Welfare Committee. In the words of her peer, as noted in her nomination for this award, Yvonne is a dedicated advocate for the entire faculty body and balances that well with her authentic desire to share the voice of her constituency meaningfully and appropriately with administration. She may not know it, but I among others benefit from her leadership and example as she serves and supports faculty university-wide. I truly enjoyed this last statement when I read it because I too have personally benefited from the wisdom, experience, and leadership Dr. Lozano presents in her role as a program chair, faculty senate representative, and a colleague. So congratulations, Yvonne. And now I would like to introduce Dr. Adam Sellhorse with the College of Liberal Arts.
Thank you, Laura. I'd like to present our first award in the area of teaching by an associate faculty member to Christopher Schilling. Christopher's commitment to student success is evident in his teaching practices. Always willing to take the extra step to help struggling students, Christopher has been a major asset within the College of Liberal Arts. Through his in-depth classroom discussions, timely responses, and his use of distinguished feedback, Christopher has created an environment ripe for student learning. Additionally, he's done all of this while acting in a part-time capacity, still finding time for academic research. He published his first book in August of 2016, presenting a new perspective on the decline of Sparta, and additionally has since authored several articles on topics ranging from historiography to the influence of international law on the rise of terrorism. Please join me once again in thanking Christopher. Our next award in the area of teaching for faculty in a full-time capacity is Dr. Andrea Dilworth. The faculty practice role within the college was specifically designed to maximize student-faculty engagement and includes multiple advanced responsibilities. Not only has Andrea embraced these added responsibilities, but she continually exceeds them. She is consistently present in the classroom, holds one-on-one meetings with struggling students, hosts weekly office hours that often include video interaction, communicates with students prior to courses to build a rapport, and contacts all students who have handed in assignments late or not handed in assignments to give them that extra chance to catch up. These efforts are not lost on students who illustrate higher GPAs, pass rates, progression rates, and satisfaction rates than the average course here at Ashford. Her impact on students is best summed up through the following quote from one of her students. Dr. Dilworth is one of the best instructors that I've experienced in my academic endeavors. She is fair, understanding, engaged, unbiased, inclusive, considerate, passionate, timely, and added a human element to an online class. I cannot say how moved I am by her attention to each student and their needs, including one with a hearing impairment for an assignment. Dr. Dilworth was awesome in explaining to us how to approach our task. I truly value this experience and wish her well. Please join me again in thanking Andrea. Our next award in the area of scholarship goes to Dr. Jana Peterson. Dr. Peterson is one of our senior faculty members within the college and has taken a strong leadership position when it comes to scholarship. Within the college, she serves as the research fellow, and through this position helps faculty throughout the university to advance their own scholarship agendas. As a trained biological anthropologist, Jenny's research is focused on primatology as it relates to human evolution. Through her past research, she has adapted analytical methods normally reserved for human-to-human conversations to support bonobo human conversations. More recently, Jenny has conducted multiple research trips to Panama focused on the Bonito Festival and Oku. I got it right. A celebration of the agricultural heritage and peasant traditions of the Central Provinces. In addition to numerous conference presentations and publications, Annie has created encyclopedia entries for Encyclopedia of Linguistic Anthropology and co-organized the first undergraduate conference here at Ashford University. Please join me again in thanking Dr. Jana Peterson. And our final award for outstanding service goes to Dr. Gabe Sturika-Jolivet. Who has the longest name in the college. Gabe's taken on so much over the last few years, I'm not exactly sure when or if he ever sleeps or takes a break. His leadership and oversight of the Student Success and Retention Committee supports the university's vision for innovation in the classroom. In this role, he works with a large group of dedicated faculty to ensure the success of a large number of initiatives, including video feedback implementation in the classroom, a review of the IQR's effectiveness, continued community college outreach, and collaborations with student advisors. Gabe also served as our Project Finish Line lead for COLA's Humanities Division in an effort that helped dozens of students continue their degrees despite hardships. At the university level, Gabe is actively involved with the Student Community Standards Committee, which provides a fair process and voice for students while holding them to high academic standards, and completes all of this while remaining one of our top teaching faculty within the college. Please join me again in thanking Gabe. Tony made us look bad by giving everyone t-shirts. We didn't know this was a thing. With that, I will hand it over to Dr. Justin Harrison, Dean of the College of General Education.
Hi, everyone. So we're Division of Gen Ed. You might know us as the portion of the university that doesn't have a gonfalon. Oh no, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Okay, so the first award that we'll be giving out is for Dr. Dariush Asimi. So come on up for our Associate Faculty Teaching Award. So Dr. Asimi has an MS in Nuclear Reactor Science and Engineering and a PhD in Physics from the University of London. His wife also has a PhD in Nutrition from the same institution. He recently celebrated his 11-year anniversary at Ashford teaching. He's taught 157 courses at Ashford, so over 4,000 students impacted in this man's life here. He's taught courses in math, science, and now primarily the general education capstone. We currently don't have nuclear physics as a gen ed competency, but I'm thinking about talking to Dr. Asimi after this about that. He has 50 years experience in higher education and in education in general. His publication list includes 70 papers, reports, and presentations. He provides a supportive and engaging classroom, and we really appreciate what he's done over his time here and what he will do in the future. So I know that we've had some long travelers. Dr. Asimi drove with his wife from Seattle. We did offer him to fly. He said no. I looked it up on Google Maps, how long it took, and it just said, "What the hell are you thinking?" So please join me in congratulating Dr. Asimi and celebrating his great work. Oh, sorry. There you go. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Jeff. Up next, Jeff will be giving the award to Dr. Lauer.
Good. Thank you. Dr. Lauer cannot be with us today. She is in Lanark, Illinois, which is a very rural farming community. She lives on a farm. They have animals and pigs and goats and chickens and cows. So I tell Dr. Lauer that one day I'm going to show up and we're going to have a retreat at her farm because I just love farm animals and they're just the cutest things. And of course, they're only pets, right? They don't eat them or anything like that. Dr. Lauer is an ambassador at Ashford University. She teaches courses that our students start with. So the first course students teach, she's representing all of you as a faculty member. And I can't think of a better person to do that than Dr. Connie Lauer. She is one of the most thoughtful people that I've ever met in my life. You go into her classroom, it's like a display of authenticity. Every response is unique. She truly cares about and truly engages with her students. She validates them, encourages them, but also holds them to high standards. She's not coddling her students. She's preparing them for the realistic expectations of the degree programs that they'll go through at Ashford University. She is an amazing faculty member and so thoughtful. She was a superintendent, so I think both Justin and I go to her oftentimes to say, hey, Connie, what do you think about this? So not only is she incredible in the classroom, but she's also incredible as a friend, as a colleague, and can't think of anybody better to win the award for full-time faculty teaching.
No, go ahead.
I'll introduce myself.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Hi, I'm Jen Vogel, Associate Dean in the Division of General Education, and I'm here to present the award for scholarship to Dr. James Metz. I first met James about 6 years ago at a charity spelling bee event. We were on the Ashford team with Andy Sheen and Jeff Hall, and we did great that night, except we lost in the last round to a Bridgepoint team, the Bridgepoint team, in Gastromythic.
Shame.
E-N-G, just kidding.
S-T-R-I.
I'll make James spell it later.
Can you use that in a sentence?
It has to do with ventriloquism. I don't know, don't ask me. But even the first time I met James, I could tell this is someone who approaches his work with intention, integrity, and a passion for creative scholarship. Okay, maybe I didn't get that the first time I met him, but trust me, it's there, okay? Certainly in the past year of being his associate dean. So James excels as a faculty member in all areas, in teaching and service, but scholarship is where he truly, truly shines. And in his career, 14-year career in higher education, he's been the author of 4 books of poetry, co-author of 2 textbooks, a screenwriter, and now an award-winning filmmaker. Last year, his short film, The Conservationist, was the official selection at several film festivals and won Best Thriller Short at the Grand Budapest Film Festival. And it's currently in development for a feature-length film. Okay. James's poems have been translated into Spanish, Turkish, and Croatian. Last year, he published, how do you say this?
Oya
Noya in Croatian. And this is his 4th full-length poetry collection. Or sorry, the 4th one, Cosmographeme. Am I saying that right? Ooh, I should ask you how to say that. It will be published next year. Let's see what else. And as if that wasn't enough, James, or Dr. Metz, I should say, finished his PhD this past year. His degree was in mythological studies with an emphasis in depth psychology at Pacifica Graduate Institute. And his dissertation was titled, give me a second, Orphic Capability and the Lyric Self, Multiplicity and Self-Making at the Threshold of Contemporary Poetry. I could define about 3 of those words, so you'll have to ask him again what that means. So it is clear with his numerous and continued scholarly efforts that James is more than deserving of this award. And it is my pleasure to present the Division of General Education Scholarship Award to my colleague, Dr. James Metz.
And last, but certainly not least, the Service Award goes to Dr. Wendy Conaway. Many of you are like, oh, I know Wendy, right? So you're like, oh, I've just never seen her in person. Everybody knows who Wendy is. She is an institution here at Ashford. She puts her hand up for anything. And sometimes I have to say, Wendy, are you sure you want to do this on top of it? So for example, last year, Wendy was instrumental in helping us develop a credit hour analysis, a job I cannot imagine wanting to raise my hand for. But she worked with faculty from across the colleges to develop a credit hour system that we all can use now. She will do things like that all day long. Iris is clapping. Thank you. Yes. And Wendy doesn't complain for a second about those really tough tasks that require so much negotiation, so much analysis. Another thing that she did that I'm so proud of her for is she collaborated with Connie Lauer, Riza Bermeo Gonzalez in service to our associate faculty. So they went through all of the end of course survey comments on our associate faculty, pulled out all of the positive comments that the students made about their teaching, put them in an email to thank them, and just a little message, and it really uplifted our associate faculty, and it's one of the nicest things I've seen done. But that just is some of the things that Wendy does. Wendy will volunteer, again, for almost anything. So if you need service on a committee, just contact us afterwards, and Wendy will serve. So she is small but mighty, and she has 2 dachshunds, which regularly make an appearance on Zoom. And I'd like to thank Wendy for her service to the university and many more years of service to come. Thank you very much.
I was the shortest in my class, too.
Up next, I'll turn it over to Bob Daugherty for the awards for Forbes School of Business and Technology.
Good morning, everybody. I know I speak for my fellow deans always at these ceremonies. You're deeply humbled by all of the folks that we have teaching for us at this institution. So, within the College of Business, we have over 500 full-time and part-time faculty members. And so to come up with 4 awards for 4 people is always a challenge. But I would say these 4 winners this year were unanimous choices. And so we're absolutely thrilled to be handing these out. First up is the award for excellence in teaching. It goes to Tony Scarlatti. He was the first faculty member to post on our faculty club hub and Canvas, where he shared resources with other faculty members and suggested improvements for a number of courses. Tony is quoted in his introduction as saying he loves the law. He teaches BUS 311, which is business law, many times at Ashford. Teaches a number of other courses. He also serves in the Senate. I asked my associate deans to give me a couple remarks about Tony, and they said he's a tough, very passionate educator. And as the winner of the 2019 Excellence Teaching Award, we're very grateful for all you do. So. Okay, you would not expect a presentation from the Dean of the Business School without a commercial. So this is the commercial. Please go to Amazon right after this meeting and buy a book. It's called The Virtual Divide. It was published this past year by Dr. Ron Ambe, who is the winner of our teaching award. I don't know if he's going to offer any discounts to those of you in the room today, but that would be a good marketing strategy. I do want to share just a couple of comments from some of his students. Dr. Ron provides insights, constructive feedback, and feedback that will encourage students to respond. He responds to email in a timely manner and addresses concerns immediately. Dr. Ron is an awesome instructor. He interacts with students well all the time. And then the best one is, I just love his class. Dr. Ron Ambe, congratulations.
Thank you.
Photo op. When I get an autograph book.
I'm sure you all saw this, but on page 2 of the Wall Street Journal this morning, they reported that U.S. productivity was up 3.6%, which is the best it's been in 18 years. The article went on to explain why, and before I get into why, for those of you that are not economists, what that productivity number means is wages are likely to go up. So that's probably good news for all of us in this room. It also means continued economic growth. But the article goes on to explain why, and I think it's because of our winner this year in scholarship, which is Mr. Bill Davis. There is a very long list of articles that Bill has published just in this past year. I'll just read a couple of them. With Marty McCauley, Do You Lead or Follow in Times of Change? With Dr. Mike Riley and Ron Beach, Influencing Employee Motivation. The list goes on and on. You know, Bill is the first winner of all three of these awards. So he's won scholarship, he's won service, and he's won teaching. So he's a huge baseball fan. And so that is truly the triple crown of everything that we do here at the university. So congratulations. Thanks, Bob. Thank you. And last but not least, the service award to me is a very serious award, and I know there's a lot of levity at this event, but I want to share a conversation with our award winner. It was my first conversation I had with this fellow. For those of you, I'm a Fulbright scholar, so about 3 weeks ago I got to spend a lot of time in Africa. And whenever you go to the developing country, you really appreciate our country more and more. And a few days ago, I was at the Milken Institute, and I heard two statistics which are really just stunning. Every day in the world, 300,000 people get electricity for the first time. That is just really stunning. About 300,000 people get clean water for the first time every day. So we are just blessed with so many riches. So, which gets back to the first conversation I had with this fellow. I was at a restaurant in New York City. And we were talking about how blessed we were to be educators, the opportunity to influence other people in profound ways and to really help them make a difference in their life and to raise their opportunity for uplifting their families themselves and so forth. But we talked about Kenya. And in Kenya and across Africa, girls' education is a real challenge. And oftentimes only the oldest male is allowed to get any education at all. And so we were talking about female education, and we shared a conversation about one educator that went into this village, and there was an exceptionally gifted young woman in this village, and she wanted to go to university. And the father wouldn't let her go. And the reason the father wouldn't let her go is because when she gets married off, he would get 9 cows as effectively the trade for his daughter. So this educator went in and offered 12 cows so that his daughter could ultimately go to university. And it's one of those stories that we shared and connected on that gets to the core of what we're all about, I think, as educators, which is how do we serve in really profound ways? We are all blessed to have advanced degrees, to really understand subjects in profound ways, but that's something that I will take with me, frankly, until I pass. But the person who's the winner this year is Dr. William Woods. And I'm going to let William share a few words. Everybody in this room knows William. He runs the Senate. He's done so much for the entire university. Within the College of Business, we're launching a revised version of the MBA program this summer, which I think is going to be a state-of-the-art program in so many different ways, and it's largely because of William's work. But I'll let you share a few words.
Hey, folks, I wanted to tell you what my inspiration is really quick. I had the advantage and honor to work underneath 3 of the sisters of St. Francis, Sister Martinell and Sister William, and then Sister Teresa Judge. And they've always admonished me to be a good Franciscan, and they taught me about social justice and encouraged me to give back always. And so they modeled what I needed to learn about so far as serving the university and serving society. So I thank them at this time.
Thank you very much. All right. Up next, we have Dr. Iris Lafferty, Interim Executive Dean, College of Doctoral Studies.
Hello, room full of friends and educators. I'm so so grateful to be here. And I'm going to start by saying there are three things that make me weep. So I come to you a little weepy because I did kind of trek into the building a bit misty today. One is children singing. That always makes me cry. Two is violins, but that's beside the point. I didn't count that. Two, actually, anything related to a military ceremony, I fall to my knees. And number three is graduation. So that coming from a kid who was, ex-military and fourth generation educator, I see this weekend as a milestone, and that it kicks off here. It starts with all of those, on Zoom in the room, our folks that have contributed in teaching, in service, in scholarship, in leadership. I've had what E.E. Cummings says is a teaspoonful of life, and my last teaspoonful of late has been standing in the shoes of a dean. I salute my dean colleagues. Wowee, you probably don't sleep, talking about not sleeping. And, so thank you folks for that. And I also do not feel right to stand here alone. This is also an efficiency thing, I will say. Will Dr. Scott Burrs stand here with me, please? Plus, this kind of feels like the Academy Awards if we were, in formal attire and had a red carpet.
Yeah.
So our first award goes to
Dr. Melanie Shaw.
And this is for Dr. Shaw is our, oh my goodness, rock star associate faculty member. We salute her teaching. She has so readily won us over in residence and as a contributor to our recent WASC visit. She has an infectious smile, a dedication, a heart for the students that are so obvious. And Scott, I know that you have a sentence or two to share about Melanie.
Yeah, I mean, where to begin with Dr. Shaw? Melanie is one of those people who brings a unique combination of compassion, intelligence, and dedication, where she will work with students that you would think in terms of the data are least likely to complete a doctoral degree, and manage to partner with them to facilitate their completion with a high quality document. And there's so much to say. I mean, one of the greatest things about Melanie is she's always yes before no. And so you can pretty much ask her to do anything and she does it and executes with excellence. Her dedication is second to none.
Absolutely. We salute her. She is out celebrating her daughter's graduation today. And so we'll catch the recording. Congratulations, Melanie. And our next award goes to
Dr. Rebecca Wardlow.
Walking into this interim role, I was in awe. I thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe she will be in our weekly faculty meetings. Her expertise, her dedication, of course, precedes her. She has raised schools, managed administrations, enrollment, accreditation, and all those things. And here we salute her. I think it comes from her K-12 roots, her heart and her soul, her articulate expertise that she brings into the classroom.
Yeah, I mean, I love Rebecca. It's so great because whenever I have the opportunity to come on campus, I always want to be sure I'm with Rebecca because she's like a celebrity. Everybody knows her, hugs her, respects her. And I've had the opportunity to partner with Rebecca on a number of projects and in different roles. And it's an honor and privilege to call her a friend and a colleague.
Absolutely. Except for the front desk, they don't know her.
That's a whole other story.
Thank you and congratulations, Dr. Wardlow. She is in her dedication, she's in our virtual in-res teaching, so congratulations, Rebecca. And you can see why I've asked also Scott in its honor and efficiency. Dr. Burris, congratulations.
Thank you.
Next slide, please. I can't find the button here. There we go. Thank you. This gentleman, this colleague next to me is an experienced leader, a passionate researcher, a committed educator, always intellectually curious, always responsive. I think I send out an email in the moment, the cell, my finger cell leaves the button, I have a response immediately from Scott. One of his favorite phrases, I believe, is, I know this isn't for now, but could we look into ... Scott, I celebrate your dire just fortitude, the work that you've done in looking at student progression, making sure that our doctoral students graduate. We used all of your numbers at the last WASC visit to show that we really are looking and supporting our students in a wraparound fashion. I just so celebrate you, and I'm so pleased to be
Thank you, Iris. Thank you.
Okay.
And I just want to take the opportunity to thank you, because I think Iris really has helped the doctoral college become part of the Ashford community. And we felt welcomed, and it was great because we recently had some WASC team members come here to talk about the status of the merger. And we were able to fully and honestly attest to the fact that the doctoral college feels part of the university, and you've been a large part of that. So thank you.
Okay, and finally, our Excellence in Service Award, we're awarding to Dr. Irene Stein. Dr. Stein is in Zoom land, and we celebrate her 10 years of serving the Ashford family from the University of the Rockies. Her service is for the leadership, the heart that she carries, taking the doctoral college safely and landing it into this Ashford family. She carries with her expertise this amazing, amazing dedication to the students. If any of you were here at the San Diego In Residence workshop, you would just, I think an icon of the event was her standing in this very room beaming. This is a passion of hers. This is where she lives, and this is truly, truly where her heart belongs. Kudos for her work throughout this decade, and Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the privilege of working with Irene for the last couple of years, and definitely see her commitment to doctoral study, to our students. And again, she's an incredible partner, and I'm privileged to work with her, and especially as we progress the college into the future. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next up, I'd like to introduce our beloved Dr. Laura Palmer Noone.
As I was walking in today, somebody said, "Is this really going to take an hour?" I said, "Probably yes. Apparently it's going to." It's my pleasure to be here today to introduce our 2018 President and Provost Awards. We chose one winner from each of the four categories. And so we'll start with the area of scholarship. And our 2018 President and Provost Award winner for Excellence in Scholarships is Dr. James Metz. Dr. James Metz, as you know, is from the Division of General Education. I'd like to start by playing a trailer from his award-winning short film, The Conservationist. Do we have that queued up? Do I have to cook? Okay, what do I have to do here? What do I have to do? Help me. Help me.
What if you could make just one definitive act of conservation a day for the rest of your life?
just a single unequivocal deed for the benefit of all living things. The kind of contribution you and you alone were born to make. You'd have to. It would be your moral imperative. The way will be hard, and the cost great. But there's a light for you too, you best concealed, most intrepid, most midnightly. I propose a plan for remaking our world, but I can't do it alone. So I'd like to ask you an important question. Do you have a moment to talk about the environment?
James is celebrating his 8th year here at Ashford. Throughout his tenure, James has displayed excellence in research and scholarship. He was a previous winner of the Scholarship Award in the Division of Gen Ed and has continued to be a prolific scholar. As was mentioned earlier, James also has recently completed his PhD, so it's been quite a year for him. James' scholarship has had an impact internally by informing curricular changes at Ashford, and he continues to advance knowledge within his discipline. Not only does James perform at the highest levels as a researcher, he is also a great teacher and has done amazing work in the revision and oversight of English 225, Introduction to Film. James is a prime example of what happens when people work diligently and commit themselves to growth and their craft. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Metz. Next up is our Full-Time Faculty Teaching Award. Our 2018 President and Provost Award winner for Excellence in Teaching for Full-Time Faculty is Dr. Yolanda Harper. Dr. Harper has over 10 years of teaching experience, teaching both graduate and undergraduate courses. What makes Dr. Harper stand out in the category of teaching is just how much she cares about her students, and she wants the very best for each and every one of them. She joined Ashford in 2013 and has taught over 100 courses with an average end-of-course survey of 4.68. Dr. Slawinski already shared some great examples of how Dr. Harper goes above and beyond to design her courses with the student experience in mind, and it is truly in the words of her students that demonstrate just how effective her practices have been. Awesome, understanding, patient, fun, and fully engaged. Even students who thought she was tough had positive things to say, and I quote, "Dr. Harper was definitely the toughest instructor that I have encountered since attending Ashford. She demanded class participation and continuously challenged our critical thinking, encouraging abstract interpretations. Her involvement and guidance throughout the course has enriched my understanding of the subject matter and has disciplined me to be a better student. I applaud her dedication to the class and appreciate her contribution to my cognitive growth." Please join me in congratulating Dr. Harper. Our 2008 President and Provost Award winner for Excellence in Teaching for Associate Faculty goes to Melanie Shaw. Where'd she go? There she is. All right. Melanie Shaw is from the College of Doctoral Studies, and as you heard earlier, she is not here today because she is celebrating her daughter's graduation. I think that counts as a pretty good excuse. So, she is a critical member of the doctoral faculty team. Immediately after joining the faculty in 2017, Dr. Shaw engaged in vital legacy student initiatives, including teaching the 4th in residence and focused on assessing students being 4 times more likely, which has led those students to be 4 times more likely to progress in their program. Dr. Shaw has also taught the scholarly argument course and the third in residence. Students that participate in Dr. Shaw's courses and in the in residence consistently report that they feel prepared for doctoral research. I needed a Dr. Shaw when I was going to school, I think. Dr. Shaw, again, was not able to join us in San Diego, but she was here for our first in residence when we had it here in San Diego, and was vital to a very successful experience for the students. As you heard before, she always says yes before no, and is always willing to do what it takes to support doctoral students, including becoming the chair for students that need her very special and unique blend of compassion and caring, accountability, and academic quality. Please join us in congratulating Dr. Shaw. And our 2018 President and Provost Award winner for Excellence in Service is Dr. William Woods from the Forbes School of Business and Technology. Dr. Woods started with Ashford on the former Clinton, Iowa campus. William's service to Ashford and the community has been incredible. William is nearing the end of a 4-year term as chair and vice chair of Ashford's Faculty Senate. During his time as Senate chair, William welcomed the University of the Rockies faculty to Ashford governance, helped to establish new Senate structure and evolve existing processes, and worked collaboratively with Ashford faculty and staff on many initiatives. William has supported Ashford students every day for the last 8 years as the faculty advisor for the Ashford Golden Key International Honor Society. He has designed and hosted events at the spring and fall graduation for the Boys and Girls Clubs of San Diego. William has been recognized by his community, receiving the 2018 President's Volunteer Service Award and the Clinton, Iowa 2018 Martin Luther King Jr. Peace and Justice Award. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Woods.
Thank you so much.